mean, I am fully, fundamentally spiraling out of control right now.
Oh, here we go.
No, seriously. I'm looking at my life, I'm looking at my daily choices, and then I look at the sheer, unadulterated, glittering chaos of Drag Race Down Under versus the world, and I just realize with this sickening dread that we are doing absolutely everything wrong.
Right, because our professional careers are clearly the problem here.
They are. We are doing everything wrong. We are standing in these sterile little rooms, holding tiny mirrors, drilling cavities, and asking people about their flossing habits, when we could literally be gluing rhinestones to our faces in the Southern Hemisphere.
Please, for the love of all that is holy, put down the dental mirror, step away from the suction tube, and just take a deep, grounding breath.
I don't want to be grounded.
You are having a full-blown existential crisis over a reality television show. A show, mind you, that currently features the audio mixing of a 2004 Motorola flip phone recorded in an actual wind tunnel.
I mean, you're not wrong about the audio, but still.
Let's just tether ourselves to reality for one fraction of a second before we start booking international flights, okay?
I refuse to be tethered.
Yeah.
But babes, welcome back. This one is for the queens, the kings, the gays, the theys, literally all the fabulous babes. And honestly, watching Drag Race Down Under has convinced us that maybe next summer we should abandon responsibility and move to Australia.
We literally say this every single time we watch an international franchise.
Do we?
Yes. We watch UK, and suddenly we want to move to London. We watch España, and we are looking at real estate in Madrid within 5 minutes.
Okay, fair. But Australia feels different.
Right. Well, welcome back to the Snark Squad, babes. We do have our passion fruit vodka spritzes on deck, heavily poured, honestly.
Dangerously poured.
It's dangerously poured. Because, frankly, the sheer messiness we just witnessed on this episode demanded it. So, cheers to you, and a massive toast to Southern Hemisphere chaos.
Cheers. Seriously, though, you have to hear me out on this Australia fantasy because I have been, intensely mapping it out in my head for the last 48 hours.
I am terrified, but go on.
Okay, so we moved to Sydney, or wait, maybe Melbourne, for that really artsy vibe.
Naturally.
And we immediately become part of that elite, leisurely brunch culture. You know exactly the one I'm talking about.
Where everyone is wearing effortless linen and eating smashed avocado.
Yes. Smashed avocado on artisanal sourdough that costs like $30, and everyone just looks aggressively sun-kissed all the time.
Yeah.
We'd spend our weekends on gorgeous, pristine beaches.
And we just magically afford this, how?
Details. Plus, I would finally acquire a cute, slightly twangy accent that makes everything I say sound endlessly charming and laid back instead of, high-strung and caffeinated.
Yep.
We just abandon the drill, abandon the floss, and live the absolute fantasy.
Okay, let's analytically unpack this beautiful, glittering delusion of yours. Because somebody has to be the voice of reason here.
You're always ruining my dreams.
I am bringing you back to earth. First of all, the reality check. To even access this linen-clad brunch fantasy, we have to endure a grueling 20-plus hour flight.
I can take a gummy, it'll be fine.
We are talking about deep vein thrombosis territory. We would be surviving solely on questionable, stale airport pretzels and whatever mini bottles of wine we can beg off the flight attendants somewhere over the Pacific Ocean.
It builds character.
Our lower backs, which are already completely destroyed from leaning over dental chairs all day, would absolutely give out by hour 14.
Okay, the back pain is a valid point.
And worse than the physical pain is the psychological horror.
Wait, what psychological horror?
The terrifying realization that if we actually did this, if we survived the flight and lived there for a year, we would absolutely become those insufferable people who start every single sentence with, well, when we were in Australia, for the next 10 years.
Oh my God, we totally would.
We would be unbearable to our friends, our families, our patients.
I would gladly, joyfully be unbearable for a year of Australian sunshine. I would fully embrace being that annoying friend. But wait, here's the real question.
I am bracing myself.
This is the true test of our hypothetical relocation, and I need you to answer me honestly, like deep down. If we had to, if push came to shove out there in the outback, could we win a fight against a kangaroo?
Oh, wow. This is exactly the flavor of delusion I was waiting for today.
Seriously, could we?
You genuinely believe in your heart of hearts that you could fistfight a kangaroo and walk away victorious.
I mean, I'm scrappy. You know I'm scrappy.
You are a dentist.
I have excellent hand-eye coordination from years of intricate dentistry work. I feel like with the right strategy, maybe some sort of advanced distraction technique, I could totally take one.
A distraction technique
Yeah.
against a wild animal.
Yeah. Which one of us is volunteering as tribute to Fight First, by the way? Because I feel like I have the sheer adrenaline and chaotic energy required to at least confuse the animal long enough for you to escape.
Let me just stop you right there before you mentally choreograph an entire martial arts routine.
I'm just saying, I could weave and dodge.
I don't even need to look this up because the biological facts of Australian fauna are staggering and horrifying. Kangaroos are not giant fluffy bunnies.
I know they're not bunnies.
They are essentially jacked, kickboxing bodybuilders who do not pay taxes. They have razor-sharp claws.
Wait, really? Claws.
Yes, claws. And the kicker, literally the kicker, is that they can balance their entire body weight on their tails.
Like they stand on just the tail.
Yes, like a fleshy pogo stick of doom. And then they double kick you in the chest with enough concussive force to disembowel a natural predator.
Really?
Your precise dental dexterity with a scaler is not going to save you from a marsupial that spends its entire life doing leg day in the desert.
Okay, but what if I sweep the leg?
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, like Karate Kid style. I sneak up behind it, I get low to the ground, and I just...
It balances on its tail. I literally just told you this.
Right, but if I hit the tail...
You sweep the leg, and it turns into a tripod of death. It won't fall over. It will just look down at you, laugh in Australian, and crush your skull.
The tripod of death. That sounds awful.
We are two exhausted dental professionals whose primary physical workout consists of intensely leaning over a patient while asking them to open wider. We would be decimated in 3 seconds flat.
So, no sweeping the leg.
It wouldn't even be a fight. It would be a nature documentary feeding frenzy.
Wow, okay, I'm visualizing this now. I'm seeing the tail tripod. I'm seeing the sheer core strength required for that maneuver.
It's terrifying.
Babes, we are not surviving the Australian wildlife. We are canceling the relocation.
Not even a little bit. We'd be taken out by a swooping magpie before we even made it out of the Sydney airport parking lot.
True. Completely true. So, to cope with my violently shattered dreams of outboxing a kangaroo and drinking mimosas in linen pants, I need to pivot wildly to our current daily lunch obsession.
Ah, yes. We have officially entered the culinary hyperfixation portion of our weekend routine.
It is not a hyperfixation, it is a lifestyle. And this is absolutely the only thing holding my fragile sanity together today.
Right.
We need to talk about the meatball sub.
The meatball sub is honestly doing a lot of heavy lifting for our mental health right now.
It really is. And I need to state for the official record to everyone in the Snark squad listening to us right now that toasted bread on a meatball sub is an absolute, uncompromising, non-negotiable requirement for human happiness.
Oh, completely agreed. Untoasted is a crime.
If you serve me a meatball sub on a soft, soggy, untoasted roll, that is a personal attack. It is a hate crime against carbohydrates.
It just turns into mush.
The structural integrity must hold. The bread has to fight back a little bit when you bite into it, you know?
Analytically speaking, though, the toasted bread is merely the foundation of the architecture.
Here comes the science.
What truly matters, and I've broken this down scientifically over the last 3 days of us aggressively eating this for lunch in the break room, is the exact, mathematically perfect ratio of ingredients.
The ratio is everything.
You cannot just throw things into bread and call it a day. You need exactly 30% robust marinara sauce, 20% perfectly melted, slightly browned provolone cheese, and 50% structurally sound, well-seasoned meatballs.
Wow, you really did the math on this.
Any deviation from this specific ratio, any extra sauce or lack of cheese, and you are no longer eating a meatball sub, you are eating a tragic sloppy joe, or worse, a dry roll, with sad spheres of meat.
Sad spheres of meat. I can't.
Yeah.
But you're so right. It is a delicate, beautiful ecosystem. You need the Maillard reaction on the bread to protect against the moisture of the marinara.
Exactly. It's structural engineering.
Which brings up a very serious debate for the Snark squad. Does a truly elite, perfectly ratioed meatball sub officially qualify as emotional support food?
I mean, I think we both know the answer to that.
Because I'm going to go ahead and spoil my own survey here.
Yes.
Yes, it absolutely does. It heals the soul.
Especially after a grueling 12-hour shift of dealing with people who look you dead in the eyes and lie about flossing while their gums bleed profusely.
Oh, the lying. It's traumatic.
Which, quite frankly, seamlessly transitions us into our daily financial spiral.
Oh, I am ready for the spiral. Because honestly, let's look at the facts. With our sparkling personalities, our top-tier, highly refined meatball substandards, and our general fabulousness, how on earth have we not won the lottery yet?
I do not understand it. I am putting the energy out there every single day.
It's honestly offensive at this point.
I have my imaginary mansion fully planned out. I'm not just talking about vague ideas either. I know exactly what the infinity pool looks like. It overlooks a canyon.
Naturally. Very cinematic.
I know the exact shade of imported Italian marble in the grand foyer. It's a creamy Carrara with dramatic charcoal veining.
Specific. I like it.
I have our luxury vacations book in my mind.
Mm.
We are going to the Maldives, and we are staying in an overwater bungalow with a glass floor. The universe just needs to do its one little job and deposit the funds into my checking account.
It is genuinely fascinating how the concept of manifestation only ever seems to magically work for 22-year-old TikTok influencers who do elaborate 12-step morning routines involving matcha and gratitude journaling.
Right, like where is my manifestation?
Meanwhile, our manifestation is clearly painfully buffering. It's like a YouTube video on dial-up internet.
It's stuck at 99%.
We bought the ticket. We sent the immaculate vibes into the cosmos. We envisioned the Carrara marble. And yet here we are still looking at impacted molars under fluorescent lights.
Exactly. The math isn't mathing. Let's take this financial spiral even further down to the absolute bedrock of our delusions.
Oh, let's go deeper.
Where are our sugar daddies?
A very valid question.
There is a highly suspicious, frankly offensive absence of mysterious, incredibly wealthy benefactors actively trying to fund our audio recap lives and save us from dentistry.
It's a gap in the market, honestly.
Where is the handsome, emotionally unavailable billionaire who just wants to pay my rent, buy me designer bags, and let me sit in a penthouse so I can critique drag queens in absolute peace?
Realistically, let's play this out for a second.
Okay, play it out.
Your impossibly high standards would eliminate 99% of the applicants on the first date anyway.
I mean,
You'd find a handsome billionaire. He would take you to a Michelin star Italian restaurant, and you would reject his proposal because he didn't instruct the chef to properly toast the bread on your artisan meatball sub.
listen.
You would literally walk out over a lack of structural integrity in the sandwich.
You know what? You're not wrong, but I fiercely stand by my boundaries. I will not compromise on the bread.
And that is why we are still working for a living.
But babes,
Huh.
enough about our Australian fantasies.
Yeah.
Kangaroo survival odds, meatball sub obsession, lottery delusions, and missing sugar daddies. Let's head to the main stage, where the queens are serving charisma, uniqueness, nerve, talent, and significantly better life choices than we're making right now.
Thank goodness. Let's finally unpack this absolute mess of a reality TV fever dream.
It was so messy.
And I want to set the stage for the Snark Squad because the context of this week's episode is vital. We are looking at a community in uproar.
Oh, the fandom is livid.
If you look at the Reddit threads, if you look at the IMDb ratings, which, by the way, tanked to a dismal 4.4 out of 10 overnight, the fans are furious.
A 4.4 is brutal.
So the core mission of our conversation today is to figure out, are the fans justified in their outrage, or are we all just victims of a brilliant, campy manipulation tactic by the producers?
We have to start with the epicenter of that outrage then, the Raven reveal.
The stunt of the century.
The stunt that literally shook the internet, rattled the fandom, and left me completely, utterly emotionally devastated.
Devastated, really.
Yes. So let's break down the setup for anyone who blacked out from the sheer audacity of it. Michelle Visage walks into the workroom. She announces a massive Kylie Minogue girl group challenge, which is an elite tier of challenge.
Very high stakes.
And then she hits the queens with a gag. She looks them in the eye and says, "The special guest judge for this week is in the room right now."
And you just watch the queens completely short circuit.
It was hilarious.
They are frantically looking around, scanning the pink walls, trying to figure out if actual, literal Kylie Minogue is hiding behind a rack of feathers or squatting behind a sewing machine.
But no, it's not Kylie. It's Raven.
Mm.
And here is the twist that ruined my Tuesday.
Ruined your Tuesday. Okay.
Raven is not competing. She reveals she was a mole for exactly one episode, supposedly just to spy on the queens, and now she's packing up her non-existent bags and going straight to the judges' panel.
Plot twist.
I have to tell you, my reaction to this in real time was pure, unadulterated emotional devastation.
Again, devastation is a remarkably strong word for a reality TV producer stunt that we all kind of saw coming from a mile away.
I did not see it coming. I was so deeply invested.
You're always invested?
You know me, I fall in love with every queen's backstory, and this was Raven, the two-time runner-up, the makeup mogul.
Yes, her resume is extensive.
I was so ready to fall in love with her competitive journey all over again. Seeing a legend like Raven, someone who has been behind the scenes doing ruse makeup for years, actually step back into the competitive arena.
Yeah.
It was a narrative gold mine,
A gold mine that was never going to happen.
proving she still has the fire, fighting in the trenches with the newer queens, dealing with the stress of the workroom. I feel personally robbed of that poetic journey.
Okay, here is where my analytical snark has to intersect with your emotional romanticism.
Bring on the snark.
Did you genuinely not notice the massive, glaring logistical holes in her being a competitor?
I mean, I was caught up in the moment.
She didn't even bring luggage into the workroom on day one. She didn't unpack any wigs. She didn't have any challenge outfits hanging on a rack. It was completely logistical nonsense.
Maybe she's a minimalist now.
No drag queen shows up to an international all-star competition with just a handbag and good intentions.
Okay, fair point on the luggage.
And I am not the only one who felt this way. The Reddit community reactions are fiery right now because fans felt completely lied to.
People are so mad.
It wasn't a clever twist. It felt like a cheap gimmick that lowered the stakes of the premiere. That's exactly why they review bombed it to a 4.4 on IMDb.
The review bombing is so dramatic.
People felt played, and nobody likes realizing the puppet master is pulling the strings of that, obviously.
But that's exactly what I want to challenge you on, and I want to push back on the Snark Squad listening to. Does a stunt like this actually ruin the integrity of the competition? Or are we just collectively throwing a tantrum because we got played?
I wouldn't call it a tantrum.
Because honestly, babes, it's reality TV. Isn't the entire point of the medium to gag us? To subvert our expectations?
There is a massive difference between a well-executed gag that advances the plot and a waste of screen time that stalls it.
Okay, how did it stall it?
Let's look at the fundamental logic of the stunt. The issue is the premise itself. Being a mole implies she was actively gathering crucial secret information to use later in judging.
Right, like finding out who the weaklings are.
But what did she actually learn? She learned that drag queens get stressed out and complain when they are locked in a fluorescent room with sewing machines. Groundbreaking journalism, Raven.
Okay, that is pretty funny.
If her casting was just a sabotage mission to mess with our heads, fine, call it that. But framing her as a spy? For a single episode where literally no one even got eliminated, it felt pointless. It was a narrative cul-de-sac.
A narrative cul-de-sac. You are coming with the vocabulary today.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear your logic. It was narratively flawed. But speaking of drag queens complaining in a fluorescent room, we absolutely have to pivot to the workroom wildlife.
Oh, the tension.
Specifically, the radioactive lipstick grudges. Because the drama from last week's non-elimination is spilling over into this week, and Flor is absolutely fuming.
The tension was so thick you could cut it with a sequin.
It was a masterclass in atmospheric tension. Flor finds out that both Michael Murley and M1's Jade Sater picked her lipstick to send her home, and the face crack was audible.
You could practically hear the ceramic shattering on her face.
It was incredible television. And M1's Jade Sater. I mean, she deserves a Pulitzer for direct communication.
She truly does. She doesn't hem and haw at all.
No. She just stares at Flor and delivers one of the bluntest, most devastating lines I've ever heard on television. She reveals she picked Flor's lipstick and calmly states, "I base this solely on the judge's critiques.
Yeah.
But also, I don't like how you are a bitch."
Just absolute lethal precision.
I gasped.
No padding, no sisterhood buffer, no I love you so much, but just a clinical flat delivery of I don't like how you are a bitch. It was breathtaking.
And then Flor, whose fight-or-flight response is clearly broken and stuck permanently on fight, tries to defend herself against Lala Ree.
Because remember, Flor was talking smack about Lala in the premiere.
Right, so Flor starts loudly defending her actions, projecting her insecurities all over the room. And Lala is so completely unbothered.
Unbothered is an understatement.
She just stares Flor down, dead silent, while awkwardly trying to pull this sparkly t-shirt down over her thighs to make it look like a mini dress.
It was not a dress. It was a very sparkly, bedazzled shirt, and she was fighting for her absolute life to stretch the hemline down while simultaneously asserting dominant eye contact.
It was the epitome of high camp.
It was brilliant.
It honestly reminded me so viscerally of real-life workplace drama. You know exactly what I mean.
Oh, do tell.
Think about when a dental hygienist gets called out in the break room for not restocking the patient bibs or leaving the ultrasonic scaler on.
Classic break room warfare.
And because they are exhausted and defensive, they start talking a mile a minute, bringing up irrelevant things from 3 weeks ago, digging themselves into a deeper and deeper hole.
Digging their own grave.
Exactly. And the head assistant, who's been there for 20 years, just sits there, slowly eating a container of yogurt, not saying a word, just letting the hygienist completely self-destruct in the silence.
Yes, just watching the meltdown.
That was Flor and Lala. Flor was the panicked, rambling hygienist, and Lala was the yogurt-eating assistant of doom.
That is a flawlessly accurate analogy. Flora just had a psychological need to process her feelings out loud, lash out into the universe to see if anything hit.
And nothing hit.
And then finally, when she realized she was shadowboxing alone, she said, you know what, even these bitches are tired of me talking, I'll just shut up.
Which was so real.
It was actually a highly effective resolution to a very tense workroom environment, but we have to move past the psychology and get into the actual meat of the episode.
The Kylie Minogue girl groups.
Yes, the challenge. This was quite literally a tale of two completely different realities. We had agonizing disasters and we had soaring triumphs.
Let's start with the agonizing disaster, because we have to eat our vegetables before dessert. Yeah. Group 1. Charlene's Angels, tasked with doing the pop era of Kylie Minogue.
A super group of personalities on paper.
Art Simone, Coco Jumbo, Lala Ree, Nicole Pates-Brooks, and Nikita Iman.
Brutal honesty time, and I am putting on my strictest judge's hat right here, right now.
Go for it.
The sound mixing for this entire segment was borderline offensive to the human ear.
It was really, really rough.
We need to talk about why this matters. Audio mixing isn't just a technical background detail. It profoundly affects how a viewer perceives the talent on screen.
Definitely. It sets the whole vibe.
Listening to that first track felt like being forced to listen to a chaotic pop song through cheap, disposable airplane headphones while flying through an active thunderstorm.
That is a vivid and accurate description.
The vocals were buried under the synths, the high frequencies were piercing, and it sounded like AI-generated slop. But even if we magically fix the terrible audio in post-production, the physical execution on that stage was a catastrophic mess.
The choreography was definitely a struggle for a significant portion of them.
A struggle is a wildly generous euphemism.
I'm trying to be nice.
Let's break it down. Nicole Paige-Bryce, who is a legend, an icon, a star of the highest magnitude, was essentially just walking back and forth across the stage and occasionally pointing at the judges.
The pointing was very pronounced.
She was giving pedestrian, aggressively casual mall walker energy at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Mall walker energy. I can't breathe.
Coco Jumbo had this incredible, chaotic, infectious energy, but she completely forgot the words to her own verse.
The lip sync was not syncing.
And Nikita Iman looked visibly intimidated by the entire process, like she was trapped in her own head, overthinking every single 8 count.
I am not going to argue that it wasn't a mess, because it was, but I have to fiercely defend Art Simone here.
Okay, defend away.
Art basically strapped that entire team to her back and carried them, exhausted and bruised, across the finish line. She was an absolute star.
She's the only one in sync.
She hit every single choreographic beat. She knew every word flawlessly. And she looked like she belonged headlining a stadium tour in Sydney.
I will give you that.
And frankly, Lala Ree's actual vocal verse was incredibly well-written and catchy, even if the group cohesion looked like 5 people who just met in an elevator.
Art Simone was the clear, undisputed standout of that group. There is zero argument there. She understood the assignment.
Thank you.
But the whiplash we experienced when we got to Group 2, it was staggering.
It was like watching a different show.
Group 2 was the Kylies, taking on the disco era of Kylie Minogue. This was Estrella Extravaganza, Flor, Michael Maruli, M1's Jade S0, and Vibe.
So good.
The contrast between the two groups was like night and day.
They were so incredibly good, I was mesmerized.
They were vastly, fundamentally superior in every single metric. And if we look analytically at why they succeeded where Group 1 failed, it all comes down to a single word.
Direction.
Direction. Vibe stepped up to direct the group and choreograph the number. You could immediately tell that she has profound real-world experience putting on big, multi-queen production numbers in the Sydney club scene.
You could totally tell she was a natural leader.
Yeah. The choreography she created wasn't overly complicated, which is a trap many queens fall into, but it was cohesive, it was clean, and they actually looked like a unified professional girl group.
Not just 5 strangers waiting for a bus in different decades.
Exactly. It was all about the staging.
Emma Ween's Jade Escora's part was phenomenal. She served that sultry doll energy perfectly.
The stage presence was undeniable.
Michael Maruli meticulously hit every specific robotic arm movement from the actual Can't Get You Out of My Head music video reference. It just flowed gorgeously.
It's so accurate to the source material.
But we have to address the massive controversial twist of this challenge.
Oh, the runway twist.
The queens didn't get a separate runway category. Their performance outfits were the runway looks.
Which is a remarkably rare and highly questionable move in Drag Race history.
You hated it, didn't you?
The mechanics of the show rely on separation. Usually you perform in a look specifically designed for movement and the challenge, and then you have a completely separate, elevated runway presentation to showcase a specific aesthetic prompt.
Right, but they combined them.
This time, production mashed them together into this Forever Kylie theme. They had to perform a girl group number while wearing high-fashion homage pieces.
I have to admit, I kind of loved it.
Really?
Yeah, it saved them time, the episode moved faster, and we got to see these incredible, elaborate, highly structured looks actually in motion rather than just slowly walking down a runway.
From a purely practical runtime savings standpoint, sure, I understand why they did it.
It was efficient.
But analytically, from a narrative perspective, it took me completely out of the fantasy that they were a girl group.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Because instead of a cohesive aesthetic like Destiny's Child in matching camo, or the Spice Girls in distinct but harmonious archetypes, you had 5 wildly different eras of Kylie Minogue's 30-year career standing right next to each other.
That is true. They didn't match at all.
You had someone in a 2010 gold corset, next to someone in a 2001 white hood, next to someone in a 1990s leopard print boxing outfit. It looked disjointed and visually confusing as a group performance, even if the individual garments were exquisitely tailored.
Okay, I see your point. The visual cohesion was completely sacrificed for the sake of the runway prompt. But let's talk about how the judges received it.
The judging. Don't get me started.
The judges put Art Simone, Estrella Extravaganza, and Flor in the top for the week.
And here is where my blood pressure spikes, and I am officially outraged on behalf of the entire Reddit fandom.
Let it out.
The judging criteria were deeply, fundamentally flawed. If we are judging this based on the stated challenge, which was writing, recording, and performing a girl group number, Michael Marulli and Vibe were completely, undeniably robbed of top placements.
You really think so? Over Flor's redemption arc?
Absolutely, and I will argue this to the death.
Wow, okay.
Michael's execution of her verse was flawless, her vocal delivery was the best of the night, and her look was absolute perfection.
She did sound great.
And Vibe practically directed and choreographed the entire winning team while simultaneously delivering the best, most clever lyrical references to Kylie's extensive discography in her verse.
The Kylie references were so smart.
To ignore all of that structural work and put Flor in the top over Michael or Vibe felt incredibly forced. It reeked of story producers pushing a redemption storyline for Flor after she was almost eliminated last week, rather than judging the actual reality of the performance.
I hear your logic, I really do, but I loved Flor's energy. She came back fighting. She proved she deserved to stay.
Energy doesn't equal execution.
But regardless of the tops, the bottoms were pretty clear-cut. Nicole Paige Brooks, Nikita Iman, and Coco Jumbo were the bottom 3.
Undeniably.
Nikita is spared, leaving Nicole and Coco in the bottom 2 to lip-sync for their lives. Which brings us to the lip-sync. Art Simone as the winner versus Flor as the other top queen, lip-syncing to determine who gets to eliminate a bottom queen.
And the song was Kylie's What Do I Have to Do?
Finally, a great high-energy lip-sync song that actually fits the queens.
It's about time.
It was a beautiful performance. And this is where I got so intensely emotional.
Here come the tears.
Art Simone is performing, and halfway through the song, she seamlessly pulls out this vintage microphone prop from her cleavage.
A classic gag.
And for those who know their Drag Race Down Under lore, that was a direct, beautiful, highly specific tribute to Down Under Season 1 legend Maxie Shield, who famously used a microphone in a lip sync.
Yes, it was a very smart callback.
As soon as she pulled it out, I gasped. I was holding back tears. It was such a profound sisterhood moment, honoring the queens who paved the way on this franchise.
Let's strip away the tears for a second.
Why do you hate feelings?
It was a brilliant, highly calculated tactical move. It elevated her performance instantly. It proved to the judges, including RuPaul, that she intimately knows her franchise history.
He was so smart.
And frankly, prop aside, she lip-synced with terrifying precision. Flor was in the background giving great, kooky, high-energy camp, throwing herself around, but Art simply commanded the center stage with pure, distilled focus.
And Art wins the lip sync, which is monumental.
It's a big deal for her.
It is her first ever Drag Race Challenge win across 2 seasons, after the absolute trauma of her Season 1 edit, where she was eliminated early, brought back inexplicably and became a meme for crying. Seeing her get this definitive, undeniable victory was everything. It was a beautiful triumph over imposter syndrome.
Yes, she finally gets the win, and she absolutely earned it. But with great power comes the terrible, crushing responsibility of the lipstick.
The lipstick.
Which brings us to the pork chop of the week. Again, Art Simone reveals the lipstick, and she chops Nicole Paige Brooks.
I was so deep in my feelings about this elimination. I need the Snark squad to understand the history here.
It is a historic elimination.
This is Nicole Paige Brooks' first formal elimination from a drag race competition in 16 years. Because technically, she didn't get eliminated on All Stars 10. She was sort of rotated out by the format.
Great.
Watching her stand on that stage, getting teary-eyed, my heart completely broke for her. She looked out and said, "So few people get to do this as many times as me," and you could feel exactly how genuine and grateful she is.
She is a class act.
She was an absolute icon of Atlanta drag, a pioneer of the early seasons, and I just selfishly wanted more time with her chaotic energy on my screen.
It is always sad to lose a legend early in a season, but we cannot ignore the brutal Shakespearean irony of this specific moment.
What do you mean?
If we connect this to the broader history of reality television, it is a staggering coincidence. In season 2, over a decade and a half ago, Raven famously and ruthlessly sent Nicole Paige Brooks home.
Oh my God, you're right.
And now, 16 years later, Raven is sitting comfortably at the judging panel, literally watching Nicole go home again on episode 2.
It's a humiliation ritual. It's too cruel. It's like the universe is playing a sick joke on her.
No, it's reality television poetry. You literally could not script a more full-circle, slightly tragic exit for a character. It is the Ouroboros of drag.
The Ouroboros. Stop!
But as much as we love Nicole, and as much as we respect her legacy, if we are judging strictly based on the parameters of the challenge, she did not know the choreography, and she did not know the lyrics to a song she recorded.
I know.
In a competition this fierce, it was unequivocally her time to go.
I'm still sad. I will mourn her departure. But we must push forward into our first interwoven topic of analysis. The Koala Crown of the Week.
Yes, our favorite segment.
We are weaving these awards throughout our recap because we have opinions that need to be heard.
Exactly. Our weekly awards for the standouts, the mess-ups, and everything in between. Let's establish our runway royalty right now. Who takes the crown for the best Kylie Minogue look?
Oh, I am making you go first on this one, the strict judge. Who gets your crown?
It has to be Michael Maruli for that flawless 2001 can't get you out of my head white hooded jumpsuit.
It was pretty stunning.
The tailoring was impeccable. The drape of the fabric was exact. It wasn't just costume. It was a perfect recreation of a pop culture artifact. The execution was pristine.
Okay, but
I will fiercely argue that I will also accept Vibe for the 2010 Aphrodite Lace Foley's gold corset, because the way she structurally incorporated that massive shell motif as a backpiece cape was sheer engineering genius.
okay, I'm going to push back slightly. I agree Michael's was technically perfect, but Vibes had that theatrical scale that a drag race runway demands.
The drama.
Exactly. So I'm officially crowning Vibe as my runway royalty. Moving on. Funniest Queen of the Week.
Estrella Extravaganza. Hands down, there is no competition.
None at all.
Her completely unhinged, chaotic camp energy is single-handedly carrying the confessional humor of this season right now. She is so delightfully weird.
Absolutely. She just says whatever pops into her brain. Speaking of which, best confessional quote.
M1's Jade S. Arrow.
Has to be.
Her blunt, unapologetic reads are the antidote to the overproduced, sanitized reality TV we get so often these days. I don't like how you are, bitch. Belongs on piece of merchandise immediately. It is the quote of the season.
I'm literally already looking for someone to embroider it on a throw pillow for my living room. Biggest glow-up of the week.
This undeniably goes to Flor. We have to acknowledge her history here.
Oh, her original season.
Her original Kylie Minogue look on her original Down Under season was disastrous. It was a poorly constructed mess.
It was bad.
But this week, she redeemed herself completely with that stunning padam red look. It was simple, yes, but perfectly executed, vibrant, and showed immense growth in her styling.
I completely agree. And finally, the most important koala crown, which we need to settle based on our earlier spiral. The queen you'd invite on your imaginary Australian vacation.
Oh, this is entirely your domain. You are the vacation planner.
Coco Jumbo, without a shadow of a doubt.
Really, Coco?
Listen, if we are actually going to Australia, if we are risking the 20-hour flight and the terrifying wildlife, We need maximum chaos. We need the absolute best drinks poured strong. And we need someone who isn't afraid to get aggressively physical if things go south.
This is a wild rationale.
I firmly believe, in my core, that Coco Jumbo would fight a kangaroo for us.
She probably would, actually.
She would drop her designer bags, yell something incredibly hilarious and profane, and tackle that marsupial to the ground while somehow perfectly balancing a passion fruit spritz in her left hand.
Honestly, I cannot argue with that logic. She has the survival instinct we lack. But let's dive deeper into the fashion because we need to categorize these forever Kylie looks. This is our runway or runaway analysis.
Hit me.
And before I even start judging the garments, I must call out a massive, unforgivable production failure. The show completely failed to provide reference photos on screen for the viewers.
It was so frustrating. I was yelling at the TV.
It's basic producing.
Unless you literally have a PhD in Kylie Minogue's 30-year tour history, you had absolutely no idea what half of these outfits were even referencing.
Exactly. It is a basic tenet of a tribute runway. We are expected to just inherently know what a random 1989 Greek magazine cover looks like without a side-by-side comparison. It's unacceptable producing.
It really was.
But moving past their failure and onto the garments. We already established Michael Marulli and Vibe are runway royalty. Let's look at the middle of the pack. What falls into the category of safe but forgettable?
I think Lala Ree's got to be certain. Red sparkly dress falls right here.
The one she kept pulling down?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was cute. It was sparkly. It was a netted dress over boots. But it's just fine.
I agree. It didn't push any boundaries. It felt a little too basic for an international all-stars runway. It lacked scale and ambition. Now, what about the category of a creative swing that almost worked?
Oh, this is definitely Estrella's leopard print corset with the massive boxing gloves.
Let's dissect this look because it was fascinating.
I love the gloves. It was so stupid in the best way.
It was trashy, it was high camp, it was incredibly weird. To combine a cheap-looking leopard print bodysuit with giant plush boxing gloves and then paint literal cat eyes on your chest, it felt like a John Waters film.
It was very John Waters.
It was almost genius in its sheer absurdity. It bordered heavily on so wrong it's right. But the actual physical execution of the corset strings and the fit was a little messy. Still, I deeply respect a massive creative swing over a boring dress.
Okay, I have to brace myself because we have reached the brutal category. Run away immediately.
We all know who it is, Nicole Paige Brooks.
No. My heart can't take it again. Please be gentle.
I'm sorry, but we must be objective fashion critics in this space.
Okay.
She actively chose a 1990 Greek magazine cover look, a look that gave absolutely nothing to do with the pop star essence of Kylie Minogue, and everything to do with Annie Potts from Designing Women goes to a PTA meeting.
Not any Potts.
It was a pedestrian, slightly dowdy, awkwardly proportioned outfit, paired with arguably the worst, clunkiest shoes of the entire night. When Raven, sitting at the judges panel, is specifically calling out your shoes for being awful, you have completely lost the plot of the runway. Run away immediately.
Okay, that's fair. The shoes were indefensible. But let's lighten the mood and do some psychological profiling with our untouched wildlife investigation.
We turn our attention now to the untamed, unforgiving, and deeply fluorescent habitat of the Down Under workroom.
The tension in the air is palpable. The harsh lights beat down on the apex predators as they circle each other, sizing up their prey.
Observe the vibrant, feathered Flor, cornered near the makeup mirrors. She is attempting a desperate defensive display. She puffs out her chest, chattering loudly and incessantly to assert dominance over the small space, hoping noise will frighten off her attackers.
But the pack is restless. They smell fear. The predatory M1's Jade Essero, a master of ambush, spots a weakness in Flor's rambling defense. She glides in completely silently, unblinking, and strikes with a lethal venomous bite to the jugular.
I don't like how you're a bitch. A critical hit. Devastating. Flor is stunned, her defense mechanisms failing. She flails wildly, turning her panicked attention to the seemingly docile Lala Ree, hoping for an easy target. But Lala is an ancient, wise creature. She has adopted a brilliant camouflage technique. Slowly and methodically pulling her sparkly plumage down over her thighs to mimic a dress, refusing to engage, letting the sheer weight of silence drain the last of Flor's frantic energy.
The pack turns away. The social hierarchy of the workroom is reestablished. Nature is brutal, babes. Only the strong survive.
Honestly, nature documentarians could learn a lot about dominance displays from studying drag queens in captivity.
It's basically National Geographic.
Which brings us to our final analytical predictions. Next week's Down Under Prophecies. We are putting our reputations on the line right now.
Okay, lay it on me. Who is the next frontrunner to take the crown?
It has to be Art Simone. She has the challenge win. She has the storyline momentum.
She does.
But this raises a fascinating psychological question for next week. Will the trauma of her season 1 edit get back in her head? She explicitly mentioned in this episode that she was second-guessing herself. Imposter syndrome is a killer in these environments.
It totally is.
If she can mentally push past that anxiety, she is an unstoppable force. If she lets the pressure cook her, she might self-sabotage.
I am mentally sending her all the good grounding vibes.
Right.
She needs to protect her peace. Okay, who is the queen most likely to surprise everyone and snatch a win?
Vibe. Mark my words.
Vibe, okay.
She is quietly, methodically directing traffic in that workroom. She led that choreography effortlessly, she nailed her Kylie references, and she has this incredibly sultry, confident, unbothered energy. She is flying slightly under the radar of the massive, loud personalities like Estrella and Flor, but she is fundamentally slaying the competition. Watch out for Vibe.
I love a stealth competitor. What about the drama? Predict the next iconic untucked argument.
Next week is Snatch Game. It is the ultimate pressure cooker.
The ultimate.
Mark my words, someone is going to absolutely lose their mind over character choices. Two queens are going to want to play the exact same obscure Australian celebrity, probably someone from Kath and Kim, and it will result in a terrifying screaming match over a cheap blonde wig while someone cries in the corner.
Oh, that is a guaranteed reality TV trope.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Snatch Game, what is the lip sync song you are manifesting for the end of the episode?
If the producers are actually calling back to early 2000s TRL voting history, and if they want to honor legendary chaotic girl groups, I am manifesting something by the Cheetah Girls. Give me Strut or give me nothing at all.
Yes, strut like you mean it. It would be absolute high camp. Okay, final prophecy. Give me one completely ridiculous, unhinged prediction that somehow feels possible on a franchise this chaotic.
Here is my wildest theory. Nicole Paige Brooks is not actually eliminated.
Wait, what?
Next week, she reveals that she was the real producer mole all along, personally installed by RuPaul himself to test the girls, and she returns to the main stage in full drag to permanently replace Michelle Visage at the judges' table for the rest of the season.
I would scream.
Yeah.
I would literally throw my passion fruit spritz at the television. Babes, if that happens, I am retiring from dentistry forever and starting a religion based on Nicole Paige Brooks.
It is honestly the only logical conclusion to the madness we just watched.
Oh my gosh, I am exhausted, I am exhilarated, and my throat hurts from yelling. Which means it is time to wrap up this recap. Snark Squad, turn your volume up because we need you to weigh in on today's deeply important, highly intellectual topics.
Yes, consider this your mandatory homework for the week.
Question number 1. Should we actually bite the bullet, drain our savings, and visit Australia next summer? Or is the 20-hour flight and the lack of decent airport snacks truly a deal breaker?
Let us know.
Question number 2. Look deep inside your soul. Could you survive a kangaroo fight? Or are we all doomed to be drop-kicked into oblivion by giant muscular marsupials?
Please be brutally honest with yourselves about your upper body strength and cardio endurance before answering that question in the comments.
And most importantly, babes, where are everyone's sugar daddies? If you know any billionaires who appreciate toasted bread and drag queens, send them our way. We accept direct deposits, wire transfers, and large bags of non-sequential bills.
And I want to leave you with a final, slightly more analytical thought to mull over until our next recap.
Ooh, a final thought.
We've talked extensively today about the famously terrible production value, the lack of reference photos, and the atrocious sound mixing of the Down Under franchise.
It's so crunchy.
But here's the philosophical question about reality television. Will that low-budget, slightly crunchy, unpolished aesthetic actually become the show's campy, endearing saving grace?
Like, ironically good.
Yes. Think about John Waters' films, or early 2000s reality TV like Flavor of Love. The messiness is the appeal. Or is this lack of polish going to alienate modern viewers and doom the spin-off forever? Is it so bad it's good, or is it just fundamentally bad television?
Ooh, that is the million-dollar question right there. Is the mess the point? Snark Squad, let us know what you think. Thank you all so much for joining the chaos in this space today, for drinking with us, and for surviving another week of this wild, unpredictable ride.
Until next time, remember to demand excellence and keep your meatball subs perfectly toasted.
Stay fabulous, stay delusional, and we'll see you on the Snark side.